Hello everyone, my name is Diego Garcia and I am a health science major. Today, my classmates and I will be discussing the Casey Anthony trial in an interview style setup, as well as considering conspiracy theories and alternative endings surrounding the trial.
June 16th, 2008 was the last time anyone saw Kaylee Anthony, 2-year-old daughter of Casey Anthony, alive. On June 20th, Casey Anthony was seen at a nightclub competing in a hot body contest. On June 30th, Casey Anthony was seen shopping at Target and JCPenney. On July 2nd, Casey Anthony received a tattoo that read Bella Vita, which translates to beautiful life. And on July 15th, 2008, Casey Anthony's mother calls 911 to report that Casey Anthony had stolen their vehicle. Upon further inspection of said vehicle, there was an odor that resembled that of a dead body. When this was discovered, Casey Anthony's mother demanded to see Kaylee Anthony, Casey Anthony's daughter. This is when Casey Anthony claims that the nanny that she had hired had stolen Kaylee Anthony. On December 11th, a body had been found down the street from the Anthony residence that was found to be Kaylee Anthony.
Lying to the cops. People lie to the cops every day, and the cops lie to people every day. I'm just one of the unfortunate idiots who admitted that they lied. I see why I was treated the way that I was, even had I been completely truthful with those officers. No, it was things that I didn't know at the time. I'm still not even certain as I stand here today about what happened. Everyone has their own theories, and I don't know. My dad did. I did what I was told. I don't remember too much of what happened. No, what I remember is being in bed, my mom coming in before she left for work and saying goodbye to us. Then waking up several hours later in the morning, an hour, 2 hours later, and not knowing where she was. I don't care about what anybody thinks about me. I don't care about that, and I never will. I'm okay with myself, and I sleep pretty good at night.
Hey, my name is Bailey Leese, and I'm going to be going over some of the rumors and the conspiracy theories about the Casey Anthony case and the disappearance of her daughter Kaylee. Now, previously, you should have already heard the story. Some of my teammates that are working on this project with me should have gone over a little bit. So I'm just going to jump right into the details. So if you don't know any of the details, I'll give a little bit of a background on them, but you should already know kind of like just the basic details of this case. So for a recap, Kaylee was gone for 31 days. She wasn't reported by anyone, including her mother. Her grandparents had no idea that she was missing. They just assumed that Kaylee was with her mother, Casey, or the nanny, who they called Zanny for a nickname. Casey claims that she didn't call to report her daughter's missing because she's naive enough to do the research on her own and kind of find out where she is on her own. So she didn't tell anybody, including her parents, that her daughter was missing because she wanted to find out on her own where she was. But upon further investigation, it was shown that Casey actually wasn't looking for her daughter, and she was out partying, she was out drinking, not concerned at all with the fact that her 3-year-old baby daughter is missing. So everyone kind of quickly learned that Casey is a compulsive liar. The nanny, the Zanny, was actually fake. Nobody could find that her address or a phone number or any information on her, but a woman with the same exact name actually filed a lawsuit against Casey because she wasn't ever involved in the case and she was getting all this negative input because her name was out in the media. And she's not even a nanny. That's not even her career. On the family computer, it was found that someone searched like neck breaking and self defense and chloroform, and everyone had an assumption that it was Casey who was searching these things up because she was the first suspect in the case. But actually, when it was in court, it was Casey's mom, Kathy, that actually stood up and said that she searched all of that for numerous reasons. Um, but, it was suspicious that she took the heat for those searches because it was more than obvious that she didn't look any of that up, but she took the heat for her daughter, which I can understand protecting your daughter, but also your daughter is the prime suspect in a case of your missing 3-year-old granddaughter. She didn't even, turn in that her daughter was missing. It was actually Kathy herself that reported Kaylee was missing in the first place. So it was proved Kathy was at work when those searches on the computer happened. It was obvious that she lied, but I'm just wondering why Kathy is trying to protect her daughter when it's more than obvious that Casey has something to do with the death of Kaylee. The grandfather to Kaylee, so Casey's dad, George, he allegedly wanted to commit suicide because he wanted to be with Kaylee, and this happened shortly after the remains of Kaylee were found. The story is finally starting to come together. Like, it's hypothesized that Casey wanted to go to a party, so she used chloroform to knock out Kaylee. She put duct tape over her nose and her mouth, and she put her in the trunk of her car while she went out and she drank and she partied. Kaylee apparently died by suffocation of the duct tape that she put on her nose and her mouth. And after Casey realized that her daughter was dead, she drove her around a little bit in her trunk, and that's why her car smelled so bad. And then she dumped her in a ditch. But the interesting thing is the defense actually came out with a different story. So Casey's lawyer, Jose Baez, was extremely fond of Casey, and he, quote, said, "You could only use flattering terms to describe the true Casey Anthony. Because the bond that these two have, you can assume that Mr. Baez will do anything to protect her." So he argued a new case. He told the courtroom that the Anthony's household was extremely toxic when Casey was growing up. She was allegedly sexually molested by her father, George, her whole childhood. And the lawyer claims that this is how Casey learned to lie. Like, she was so used to lying about what actually happens, she couldn't help herself to lie throughout this case because she's just a compulsive liar. Some also allegedly believed that because Casey was sexually molested, her father, George, is the true father of Kaylee Anthony because they never really found, who was the actual father, because there could have been multiple because of how Casey was in the past. They say that Kaylee died by an accidental drowning on June 16th of 2008, and that Casey's dad, George, covered up the accidental drowning, and the reason why he almost killed himself is because he's the actual father of Kaylee, and he didn't want anyone to know the truth. And although this story sounds far-fetched, nobody really knows the truth. Casey called her dad from jail and told him how he's such a good father and he's such a great grandfather to Kaylee, and it doesn't really support the claim that he sexually molested her because she wouldn't be going out of her way to call her father and say these nice things to him if, she has like a personal vendetta for him being sexually involved with her. So there's just a ton of rumors and conspiracy theories with this case, and as disgusting and dreadful this case is, it's really upsetting that there are no true answers on what happened. So, I mean, what's your theory? Everyone's got their own, but what's yours? Think about it. Thanks.
Many people are asking and wondering, did Casey ever move on from this whole tragedy of her daughter? Is she living a normal life? People are curious on what she's up to and what's been going on. Well, today, I'm here to tell you that. And what's been going on and answer some of these questions. Casey is actually, in fact, writing a very detailed and distinctive story about herself, not only herself, but the tragedy of her daughter. and her afterlife about it. What's going on, what she's been up to, how she's been coping with everything. Casey, besides being a researcher, actually started a photography business. It wasn't too big, it wasn't too small, but it didn't work out too well for her. She actually, in fact, started a Twitter account to publish some of her photos and, work with commuting with people on the internet and, interacting with people and other photographers to get feedback on everything. In 2019, Casey announced that she was making a movie about her life. Not just about her and her life, but about her daughter. The name of that movie is called As I Was Told. After the tragedy of her daughter, people wonder, does she still want kids? Does Casey not want to have kids? Well, I'm here to tell you that Casey does want to have kids still. She doesn't want to stop having kids after that. Yeah, it was traumatizing for a few years, but she wants to move on with her life and become a mom and take care of her children. The Casey Anthony case, still to this day, haunts some jurors and many people throughout the world. So, does that answer a lot of your guys' questions?
Thank you to all the members of the group for giving their insight and their input into what was one of the most influential trials in the United States since the beginning of the 21st century. It truly was that wild and from start to finish. And now that the case is over and we've given our side, you now get to make your assumptions into the Casey Anthony case and trial and see what you decide. Thanks for watching, guys.